What's poppin', everyone? It's Loho Plays here. We are back for another episode of Pokemon editing. If you have not seen this series before, essentially we are taking a Fire Red ROM hack, editing all the Pokemon, giving them updated type changes, abilities, level up movesets, and also redistributing stats if we need to. Of course, we are also still dealing with Fire Red Gen 3 mechanics of no physical special split. And of course, if you're interested in the tools that I've been using, they will be in the description below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Last time we left off with Cacturne, and we are moving forward with Snorunt. Snorunt now is still remaining Ice type, has Compound Eyes, which is good for its next evolution. Getting Powder Stow, Astonish, Bite, Icy Wind, Headbutt, Protect, Crunch, Shadow Sneak, Hail, and Ice Beam before evolving into Glalie, which has a new type change, which is now Ice Ghost. And you might think, okay, Ice Ghost is like really weird. Glalie does not look like an Ice Ghost type. And I completely understand that in some senses. If a lot of people make, I've been looking at some like different ROMs of how they change Pokemon, and they always sometimes make Glalie Ice Rock. But Ice Rock especially, I mean, it's a very unique typing, but most of the time it's pretty bad. Especially with Gen 3 mechanics, when like Ice is special, Rock is physical. I mean, in this sense, it doesn't matter. Ice Ghost, same thing, but essentially you're not getting any benefits, and being 4 times weak to fighting when fighting is a pretty common move on most Pokemon is pretty bad for Glalie. So the reason why I went with Ice Ghost is because when I look at Glalie, I'm like, okay, this thing kind of gives off a ghost vibe. Just hold on for a second. When its eyes glow, and also like it's just constantly hovering above the ground, and it's still an ice type, like why is it hovering above the ground? That's why I kind of was getting like this kind of wraith, like kind of reminds me of what's that Ben 10 guy? It's like the freaking Big Chill. He's like the frost moth guy that can like go invisible. So that's like kind of where I got the inspiration for Ice Ghost. Overall, the typing is pretty good offensively. Also in terms of stats, Glalie has 80 base stat total going down the line, but now has 100 attack and 100 special attack and 100 speed. So this makes Glalie essentially very, very effective at doing a lot of damage and also pretty fast. Looking at its movesets, he's getting Body Slam at 42, Hail, Ice Shard, Shadow Ball, Psychic Fangs, and Blizzard. And there's something wrong here. It is Rough Skin, but this was supposed to be Compound Eyes because I liked having Compound Eyes Blizzard. And whatever, this one can be Rough Skin as a backup, and I'll change the Snorunt after this. I did want Compound Eyes because I do want the Blizzard to have a higher chance of hitting, meaning Glalie also gets access to a stronger Ice type move. Also Shadow Ball, Psychic Fangs will also be good coverage because it has like that good special attack stat, so it's not like you're losing anything from having some coverage. Obviously having some good priority and Ice Shard is never bad. And yeah, that's Glalie. It's definitely, I think, going to put a lot more work in, and people are going to think Glalie was always something that was super under the radar until it got its Mega Evolution. I'm pretty sure this is like its Mega Evolution stats, but like why not just give Glalie like its Mega Evolution stats? And then Ghost as a typing offensively is very, very strong. So that is Glalie. Moving forward, ooh, we got Lunatone and Solrock. So for Lunatone, I was also thinking about buffing Lunatone a little bit more, but Lunatone is still Rock Psychic, keeping Levitate, getting access to Tackle, Harden, Confusion, Rock Throw, Hypnosis, Psybeam, Cosmic Power, Psychic, Recover, and Rock Slide. Now I know you might look at this moveset and be like, nothing has really changed from the game. That's in some ways true because I wanted Lunatone to kind of be like this bulky version between Lunatone and Solrock, so I gave it Cosmic Power, which Cosmic Power is definitely really strong. I mean, getting +1 defense and special defense, like you have immunity to ground type moves, like you will definitely take some hits, and also you get access to recover, so you could just recover stall. Looking at the stat changes, now still has 70 HP, 85 attack, does well with its rock typing, 65 defense, which is okay. Special attack stays the same, special defense still the same, and then it increases speed of 90. This makes like Lunatone was not, it's for being a bulkier Pokemon, it's still kind of fast, but 90 will definitely make sure that it's faster than a lot of Pokemon, and as a single stage, 90 is definitely pretty fast. Lunatone is a little bit boring, but still a lot more viable than it used to be. Moving on to Solrock, and we actually do have a new type change with Solrock. I thought it was pretty interesting to go with a fire and psychic type. I was looking at its shiny sprite, which is a lot of the times my inspiration for doing some type changes. And, you know, if I actually end up doing like a story for this game, I can kind of bring some lore into like why the type change happened. But looking at Solrock, I mean, this sprite definitely gives off like a fire psychic vibe. But of course, it still keeps its levitate ability, which is really good, still having that immunity to ground type moves. And then looking at its base stat total, you can see that this is the offensive version between the Lunatone Solrock twins, having a special attack stat of 115, which fire and psychic are both special, meaning it has no purpose having such a high attack stat because both these stats are pretty low, but such a high special attack stat, an increase in speed from 90, same thing as Lunatone, will make this Pokemon a lot better. And yes, this Pokemon has slightly lower stats than Lunatone at 470 compared to 490, but it's because most of its special attack stat, which is the most important, is very, very high, so I don't want to just chuck 20 and like another stat and make it way, way better than Lunatone. Looking at its moveset, still gets Confusion, Rock Tomb early on, Flame Wheel, Psybeam, Cosmic Power, Morning Sun, Flamethrower, and then Psychic. Still gets access to Recovery in Morning Sun, which I thought was cool, but overall, Solrock will definitely be like a lot more dominant as a threat in this game. Moving forward, Zoomerl we already covered previously in the past when we did Azumarill. Spoink, oh man, we're coming up on some really cool changes that I love. So Spoink still has, I think, let's see, did Spoink always have thick fat? Yeah, still has thick fat and no tempo. Nothing too crazy here, but it is getting Thundershock pretty early on at 7. Okay, we're back. There was a hidden move here that was not supposed to be here, but it is a spoiler for a future video, so I had to cut that out. Spoink is getting Confusion, Thundershock, Confuse Ray, Psybeam, Bounce, Rest, Sleep Talk, and Psychic. It is getting Rest and Sleep Talk, which is pretty cool for Spoink and Grumpig because it has really high special defense. But moving forward, we have Grumpig, who is now Psychic and Electric type. And now you're like, okay, where did he get that typing from? Of course, I'm looking at the Shiny Sprite. Also, by the way, for all the Pokemon that will be Shiny Sprite, like when you see them in the wild, they will originally have this sprite, and then their Shiny Sprite will be their Shiny form will be their normal form. So looking at the sprite, you can definitely see Electric, Psychic, and I think the typing is just super cool. Still get access to Thick Fat and Own Tempo. Not the greatest abilities in the world, but Thick Fat giving you essentially a resistance to Ice and Fire type moves is definitely helpful. And Grumpig has a really high special defense stat. I don't think I increased any of its stats because I thought like with the addition of the new typing it would be a lot better. Getting Thunder Punch, Psych Up, Psychic, Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave, Psycho Boost, and then Nasty Plot. Grumpig I think will be able to do a lot more damage than it normally would, and also I think this typing is just so sick because Psychic and Electric are both special, meaning it does not matter that it has such a low attack stat. And yeah, that's Grumpig. Moving forward, oh man, we got some cool changes coming up. Plusle. And now you're probably looking at these Plusle stats saying, what in the world am I thinking? But the way that I want to deal with Plusle, besides like most electric types, is I wanted Plusle to be like the dominant threat. Like I always choose like one is between twins, I always choose like one is more offensively dominant and one is like defensive. So Plusle is obviously the more dominant one. Can't you tell just by the sprite he's more dominant? Now has a special attack stat of 125. And no, you're looking at that and it's absolutely insane. I do agree. Also get a 5 increased special defense boost, getting Growl, Quick Attack, Thunder Wave, Thundershock, Encore, Spark, Agility, Wild Charge, Charge, and Thunderbolt and Thunder. But obviously, like you can tell why Plusle was limited in this way, that it gets absolutely no coverage. Encore is pretty good. You can get Agility, maybe you can set up and sweep, but also like ground typing late game is pretty common, so you can't always just sweep things with an electric type move. Even at 95 base speed, you're not going to be outspeeding everything, so that's why like it's still slow in terms of late game. Like early game is probably still a beast, but I mean, I don't know if Plusle is an early encounter, but anyways, this is Plusle. The reason why it has such high special attack stat is because it has absolutely no coverage. Every move is electric type move except for quick attack. And yeah, that's Plusle. Moving forward, we have Minun, which is now electric and grass. So this is shared between Meganium in this game, but obviously Meganium has some more offensive prowess rather for being grass and electric type compared to Minun, who's just a little bit more bulky. It will be having its shiny sprite, that's why I'm going with the electric grass set. I just did not want like another electric type, and I don't have access to fairy typing in this game, so I was like, let's just leave it at that. Minun is electric and grass, now has Volt Absorb. Also had Lightning Rod more offensive, Volt Absorb more defensive. Looking at stats, Minun got a significant increase in 45 HP, 45 base stats to its HP. Everything else kind of the same, but I mean, having 105 HP, are you freaking kidding me? Like, that's gonna be like doing a lot for Minun. Quick Attack, Mega Drain, Thunder Shock, Encore, Spark, Leaf Blade, Wild Charge, Leech Seed, and Thunderbolt and Thunder. And the reason why this thing is going to be really good, I mean, I know Plusle also gets Encore, but the fact that this thing can Leech Seed and also Encore, and like eventually I think you'll get access to Protect, like this thing can be like a bulky kind of like monster in a way that can just like drain your HP, just sit there, kind of blob up hits. Like Electric Grass and is definitely not bad in terms of defensive because you get rid of your flying weakness. But yeah, that is Minun. Moving forward, we have Mawile. Let's delete some more Pokemon here. We have more room. All right. So we have Mawile here. Mawile now has Intimidate and Hypercutter. I think normally its ability is just Hypercutter. Learning Thief, Fake Tears, Metal Claw, Feint Attack, Iron Defense, Sucker Punch, Poison Fang, Iron Head, Crunch, Stockpile, Nasty Plot, and Meteor Mash. So Sucker Punch, I think in this game I decided to make it just +1 priority 70 based. Does not matter if the opponent goes first, so I think it's slightly reduced damage, but essentially just a better quick attack. And Dark definitely needs that in this game because Dark is not getting access to a lot of good moves. But moving forward, in terms of stat changes we made, oh, I totally forgot. Yeah, Mawile is now Steel Dark. When you look at the sprite, it definitely just gives off the, I mean, definitely Steel vibes and definitely I feel like Dark vibes because like it's got that giant like weird biting thing. I don't even know what it is, but it looks badass and I liked going with a Steel Dark type. HP is now increased to 70, attack is now 95, special attack is also 95, so now your steel and dark type moves, there's no difference in damage there. Also a very high increase in defense at 115, everything else is the same. So this is kind of making Mawile like a defensive monster while also being able to set up with Nasty Plot, sometimes getting off some sweeps with Sucker Punch, doing a lot of damage with Iron Head, Meteor Mash, etc. But overall I think Mawile will definitely improve from these changes. Okay, we are back. Had to cut again because some more sneak peeks and spoilers are being popped up. But moving forward, we have Meditite, who now has Pure Power, getting Confusion, Detect, Hidden Power, Arm Thrust, Swagger, Calm Mind, Drain Punch, Psybeam, High Jump Kick, Reversal, and Recover, and then evolving into Medicham at, what was that, 40 or 37. And Medicham is now getting Confusion, Fire Punch, Ice Punch, so all the elemental punches, then Psychic, Recover, Bullet Punch, Fake Out. So before, let's see, Meditite is already getting High Jump Kick at 34, so realistically you don't need a better fighting type move unless you want to keep Drain Punch. Then getting all the elemental coverage, Psychic, Recover, Bullet Punch, and Fake Out. I know Fake Out and Bullet Punch are really late for priority, but I kind of wanted to make Medicham like have no priority early on. Pure Power obviously doubling its attack stat, same for Meditite, will be doing a lot in terms of its fighting type moves, and even though its special attack is kind of low, I felt like just giving it access to this coverage definitely won't make it terrible. Yeah, and that's kind of Medicham. I already felt like Medicham was pretty strong, especially once it gets Bullet Punch, Fake Out, it's going to be doing a lot more chip damage as well. So yeah, that is Medicham. Moving on, we have Swablu, normal flying type with a natural cure ability, Peck, Astonish, Sing, Fury Attack, Safeguard, Air Release, Recover, Mirror Move. Kind of a really bad set, and that's fine. That's okay. That's totally fine. because we have Altaria now. Hold on. Who I don't think I made any significant stat changes. Looks like I increased special attack by 80 and attack by 80. Everything else is the same. Natural Cure is a very good ability for this thing. Oh, this is not in order. But the reason why Altaria is not getting anything crazy in terms of stats is because it's now getting Dragon Breath, Dragon Dance, Flamethrower, Parasong, Aeroblast, which is a very hard-hitting flying type move, Dragon Claw, and Draco Meteor and Hurricane. So for the bad thing about Altaria is that it got no access to good moves, so this will make a large difference in making Altaria more viable. I feel like I should also plan to give this thing Earthquake. I think that will really make it jump the bar, and I think I definitely will do that after this video. Moving forward, why not? We kind of already gone over because it's linked to Wobbuffet. Duskull has Levitate still, and honestly, Duskull, Dusclops, kind of the same Pokemon. They're so good at what they do. Nightshade, Disable, Astonish, Confuse Ray, Pursuit, Shadow Sneak, Pink Sack, Shadow Punch, Future Sight, and Will-O-Wisp. And Dusclops still having, I don't even think anything has really changed here. Nightshade, Will-O-Wisp, Earthquake, Pain Split, and Shadow Ball. Like, this is literally all this thing needs because Dusclops is like just a crazy wall. Sorry, that notification popped up. Moving forward, and this is probably the coolest Pokemon that I like so far. And, you know, it has a kind of a spoiler in it, but I've already talked about... No, this isn't technically a spoiler, so... because it's like naturally as we're going on. We have Roselia, and Roselia got a pretty significant change in stats. So looking at stats, it has now 75 base HP, 100 attack, 80 defense, 85 special attacks or reduced special attack, 80 special defense, and speed are the same. Now has Natural Cure and Poison Point as its ability, and still has the Grass Poison typing. So looking at Roselia, gets Mega Drain, Growth, Acid, Stun Spore, Magical Leaf, Leech Seed, Grass Whistle, Spike, Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, Toxic, Floral Decay at 42. You might be thinking about, like, what is this move? And I will tell you. Right, we are back. Floral Decay is a 55 base power move that hits twice, so technically 110 base power, and guarantees a poison and is a poison type move. So you're now looking at Roselia, which was essentially kind of just like a meh Pokemon. It's definitely had a high special attack stat before, now having a decent special attack and a very high attack stat, going off this 110 like poison type move that always toxics or always poisons will definitely be very strong for late game, and definitely making Roselia a lot more viable than it used to be. And yeah, that is Roselia. Moving forward, we have Slakoth with Truant, Scratcheon, Encore, Slakoth, Faint Attack, evolving into Vigoroth. Nothing really too crazy here. Vital Spirit, Scratch, Fire Punch. Fire Punch learning at level up is also pretty cool. Uproar, Endure, Slash, Counter, Brick Break, then evolving into Slacking, Swagger, Body Slam, Rock Slide, Earthquake, Double Edge, and Hyper Beam. Hyper Beam, I will also say, I'll probably say this in another video, but Hyper Beam is also changed. So let's cut back in. Hyper Beam is 140 base power and reduces the user's attack and defense stat. However, you only get 1 PP for the move. So it's definitely like a the thing about Hyper Beam is in the game, it always has like this cool animations, really cool moves, especially in the anime, but in reality, it doesn't do much for you. So that's why I felt like having the recharge of Hyper Beam was terrible for most Pokemon, especially like Hyper Beam is supposed to feel threatening, and I kind of like the fact that like even random Pokemon like Dragonite, etc. will have like Hyper Beam, and then dropping its attack and defense stat will definitely like weaken the next Hyper Beam also, but also makes it feel like you are more vulnerable with that defense drop as well. But yeah, this is essentially Slacking, nothing really too crazy. Slacking was already kind of but the fact is like you have to deal with Truant. If you're using Slacking yourself in game, obviously you're dealing with the Truant, and it's like, well, you're gonna take extra hits, versus like if the AI uses it, you can obviously like manipulate the AI to just protect on the turns that it doesn't have Truant. So yeah, that is Slacking. Moving forward, I think those will be our last 2 Pokemon for today. Our Gulpin still has Liquid Ooze, Toxic Yawn, Toxic Sludge, Amnesia, Encore Spikes, Stockpile, and Sludge Bomb. Then moving on to Swalot, still has its poison typing, but actually gets access to own tempo. So looking at its moveset, and now, or stat changes, it now has 96 attack, 83 defense, a decreased special attack, 83 special defense, and 58 speed, which is just like 3 above. Kind of wanted to hit 470 on this thing. Has own tempo now instead of liquid ooze. That's its main ability. I'll switch that for Gulpin as well. Tackle, body slam, spikes, and blob rush. And blob rush is also a new move that I've added into the game, and it is SWALOT's signature move. Also previously, Floral Decay is Roselia's signature move. I am going to have a video essentially going all over all the signature moves, by the way. But let's go through what Blob Rush is. So Blob Rush is 120 base power poison type move with an outrage effect, so at the end of it you get confused. But the good thing is that SWALOT has own tempo, so you actually never get confused, and there's really no reason not to go for it. So I think that yes, this move in a way is broken, but also looking at SWALOT as a Pokemon, it definitely needs like that little oomph and a signature move that will definitely make this game fun, or this Pokemon fun to use for the player. Also getting access to Stockball, because why the hell not, Earthquake, Sludge Bomb, and Iron Head. Sludge Bomb is just in case you get Liquid Ooze, obviously, and then Iron Head is just for some good coverage. And yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.